Hi, it's your coach Joe Lucas. Hope you're having a great day today. Something a little different. If you're watching me on my YouTube channel, you're going to get a great visual on this. If you're listening to me on my podcast, I want you to just basically, kind of visualize a blank sheet of paper. So let me kind of set the scenario for you today. What we're going to talk about is how to prioritize. You know, in my coaching work with advisors over the last quarter century, let's face it, there's always more things to do than most of us have time for, right? So the question is, how do you decide what's important? And that's a very, very important question. Because what most advisors do, I think what most human beings will do, is whatever fire is burning the brightest is the one I'm going to go tackle. And the problem with that is that, it may not be the right thing for you in your business. Most advisors, I think most people, everything's a high priority. Everything's important. So that's the one thing I go with. Everything's important. Otherwise, it's not going to make the board. So if you're watching my YouTube channel, let's talk a little bit about a very neat tactic that I use with my clients. I also use myself to kind of figure out what's important. Okay. Now, let me start by saying this. I like tools. I'm like everybody else. So I like, whether you use Redtail or Salesforce or to-do list or Wunderlist or Evernote with some tasking in there. So this is not about, well, what tool do you use to get to X, right? Because here's the problem with that. If you make the wrong decisions, if you ask yourself the wrong questions, if you have the wrong psychology, garbage in, garbage out. Right? Just like everything else. So here's what I do. Here's a quick thing. So you can do it if you have a whiteboard in your office, that's cool. If you want to use a pad, that's cool. Wherever you want to do it, right? Doesn't really matter. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take just like a sheet of paper, and we're going to create 4 quadrants, right? Quadrant 1, I'll explain that in a little bit. Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and then quadrant 4. Okay. So let me explain what this means. Quadrant 1 is going to be what I call the money quadrant. And what goes in here are basically actions, activities, phone calls, whatever you want to put in here that are going to be revenue producing. So, whether it's an A client, a B client, a C client, a prospect, anything that's going to ring the cash register, we want to put in this quadrant, okay? So this is good. So this is going to be upper left, most important, right? Revenue. 30, 60 days, I probably wouldn't go out more than 60 days. So obviously all your prospects are going to be here. All your pipeline people are going to be in here. Anybody you're meeting with, any of your clients that have optimization scenarios where you may have to do an analysis or put an application out or get an ACAT form or anything like that, that's going to go in this quadrant here. Okay, so revenue. Next quadrant are going to be our A clients. So maybe there's a service request, informational request, not revenue producing, because A clients, we tend to have all their assets, we tend to have all their, we've optimized that revenue stream, but we can't lose them. They're very, very important to us. So this is 1A, this is 1B, right? This is what we're going to look at. Then we're going to come down, and we're going to go like a clock, clockwise. We're going to go now down to our Bs, right? And our B, again, our B clients, service request, informational request, whatever, right? And then C, and then your C/D book, if you even have a D book. Hopefully you don't. Now, then the next question is, so what you'll do is you'll kind of, okay, here's what I've got to do here, right? 3, here's what I've got to do here, right? Here's what I've got to do here, and I'm not going to take your time and jot stuff down. I think you all get the gist of this, right? Okay, so now, I write, so, prepare analysis, proposal, whatever. Here's the thing. So once I have that in there, then I go, am I the only one that can do this? So so for Joe, it'd be a J. Okay, Joe's got to do that one, right? If I'm the advisor. This one here, I can have, again, I'll use Marissa, my wife, as an example. So we'll put an M next to that, and maybe that's a J, and then, maybe this one would be a J, but I can delegate that out. And so what you end up with is a very simple, instead of having this long list, right, of just everything on there, and it gets overwhelming, you've got to learn how to chunk you're tasking out. And the old school style of high, medium, low priority or double A priority or A priority or one, it's all garbage. Doesn't work. Not in our space. There's what makes you money, then everything else. So we like to always do it, right? And then whatever I can delegate. This is a great exercise and a great so what this is really about is questioning. Something comes on, something shows up. Hey, is this revenue producing? Yes, no. If it is, boom. Can I delegate it? Yes, no. Boom. Assignment, right? Something comes in. Is it revenue producing? No. It's an A client. Boom. Is it something I must do or can I delegate it? Yes, no. Boom. B book, C book, read. It's about questioning in your mind. It's about asking better questions. Will this make me money? Is this an A client? Am I the only one who can do this? Can it be delegated? Very simple filters, very simple chunks will really make you way more productive. You'll feel more organized, and you're going to feel like you have control again. So here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. It's Thursday today. Hey, between now and the weekend, right? Maybe Friday strategic day. Why don't you get that big list of yours out and carve out an hour or two with a cup of coffee, whatever you like to drink, and go through this process. Get on the whiteboard or a piece of paper, 4 quadrants. Here's how we do it. Simple and effective. That's the way I like to roll. Have a great day.